Welcome back to this beautiful place in Meridian. I hope you all are waking up after that lovely lunch. I have with me three eminent people from Egypt, Iraq, and Iran, and I'm surrounded by, I just realized, 300 million kilos of tea. So it's prime positioning for me, and I wish all of you could share a bit of this with me. May I request Mohammad Rizk Haiza from Egypt to start on his presentation.
Mr. Haiza started his tea business in 1971 and had...
I'm glad to address this unique session and to give some light on the Egyptian market, because most of the people wants to go to Egypt and to sell tea to Egypt. So just to give a brief idea of how our market is, I made this short and brief presentation to be followed by any questions or any queries about the tea consumed in Egypt. So, just a brief introduction to say that tea is considered to be one of the main strategic foodstuff commodities in Egypt for Egyptians, all levels, very rich middle class and below middle class, because it is the cheapest beverage after bottled water. In rural areas, it's substitute to fruits and even served as a welcome drink, minimum 1 to 5 times a day. The average per capita consumption of Egypt is considered to be one of the highest, because UK is almost 2.5 kilos, I was told today in the morning, and Pakistan is almost 1 kilo like us or a little more, so we stand number 3. So our per capita consumption is between 800 grams to 1,000 grams, means 1 kilo. So if we consider our population now, according to statistics, as 75 or 78 million kilos, as per current population 78 million. Of course, we are net importer since we don't produce tea. The share of government is almost 1/3 of this amount. If you consider 75 for easy calculation, then we are importing around 25,000 tons alone through governmental companies. That is sold to at subsidized rates to Egyptian consumers, and that is mainly from Kenya. And recently, our government diverted some of the imports from India. That's starting July 2007. That's because actually the relentless and great efforts of Indian Tea Board and the Indian Embassy in Egypt, who succeeded to get special approval from our Minister of Trade to divert some of its imports to be from India.
I should give my heartiest thanks to the Tea Board of India. And after independence, for 3 years, there was no business. Then they invited me to Indonesia, and they requested me to make tea for them. Since I had my own factory in Iran and I was manufacturing good tea, one of the best tea in Iran those days, I could do something which was very exceptional for them. I stayed there 5 days, night and days we were working, and finally I made the tea. And I did so many changes in their factories. Factory was in Bandung, and we made the tea full of tea, good quality, good, well made. And when we returned back to Jakarta, they didn't believe that it is Indonesian tea. This is a good example that if we love work, work will love us also. Tea is something which I think anybody who is entering this business cannot leave it. It's so nice, good, and as we say, halal business with very small profit, but with good turnover, the result will be very good. For example, for 9 years, I had my books and I showed to many of ministers and others, 3.25% was my profit. And my final profit over the year was over 50%, because I had returned my money 14 to 15 times. This is when, second, I was in UK in Twinings. Mr. I. Twining and Mr. John Leader invited me to participate in selection of some essence. For the first time, he said, Mr. R. Twining told me that after 130 years, you are the first man who is coming into our laboratory. So I selected good natural oil, which is bergamot. And I requested to use for myself. Then after, that was the best in the world. And these experiences and so many other experiences shows that tea is a world for himself. For me, it's really my life, nothing less than that.
Thank the Tea Board of India and the organizer for inviting me and giving me the honor of being one of the speakers at this important tea convention. I was a speaker at the last International Tea Convention held at Kochi a few years ago. I am happy to be back here and meet you all and some of my old friends in the tea trade and industry. I lived in India for a few years in the 1970s, based in Calcutta. I was the director in charge of the Iraqi Purchasing Board, tea being the major export item, among many others. My family and I have many happy memories of our stay in India. In fact, one of my children was born in India. It is therefore always a pleasure to come back here and be among friends. Iraq was and still is a very large tea drinking nation. And we Iraqi people are not only friends with tea, but they love tea. And Iraq was one of the highest per capita consumption. And I think my information that Iraq was number 3 after Ireland and Australia. That was previous information I have. At the moment, I don't know if I am correct or not. During the 1970s and 80s, Iraq imported approximately 55 million kilo of tea annually. Sri Lanka supplied 30 million kilo, India 15 million kilo, half from North India and half from South India. Indonesia 10 million kilo, and a small portion from Kenya, Bangladesh and Turkey. All of these were Orthodox tea, and except Kenya, which Iraq used to buy about 1,000 tons per year of CTC. And of course, a good quality of tea, and I think the tea trade and the people here in India and Sri Lanka, they know what kind of tea Iraq used to buy. Iraq used to have different standards from the good, medium, and medium category. The requirement was a good leaf standard with a calorie liquor. Leaf standard is very important. Appearance is very important. Beside, of course, the liquor. And all purchases before, it is through the auction, both auction in Calcutta and in Kochi, and at later stage from Guwahati in Assam. And though this purchases inspected and checked after approval, and there were hardly any quality complaint. But
so again to you, question to you. I'll just read it out. Iran has blessed Darshanlal Anand Prakash for quality in upcountry market in Iran. Is yours. Fortunately, Mr. Sudhir Prakash of Darshanlal Anand Prakash is physically present. Can he personally bless and encourage?
Thank you very much. To Mr. Mehdi Hariri. Thank you very much. And to Mr. Ghazan Gharbabi. Thank you very much. I'd like to now invite Mr. J.K. Thomas, past president of UPASI, to please do the honors and present the memento to the chairperson. Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. We now have our tea break. We reassemble at